Welcome guys to the Teen Talk Show, and here we have our guest, this young gentleman. We want to know more about him. We want to know what he has for us youths in store, and actually you are going to appreciate this man. He's a good and awesome man. So welcome to the show, Mr. William.
Thank you so much, my sister.
So I would like you to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Use camera 2 to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Yes, here is William Gendi Karaoke. William is a native of Embu County, born back in the year 1992. And William is a farmer. I do farming as well as entrepreneurship. And also William is a civil servant. I work for the county government of Embu as an end of inspectorate, Embu County Revenue Authority. I do farming, that is in terms of the actual farming in the farm, as well as animal rearing.
Wow.
I keep poultry and livestock as well. And I'm also a dog farmer. I do farm. Yeah.
Dog farming.
Yeah, dog farmer.
So let's start from here. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? So that you can be called Mr. William, who can venture to such places where we are headed to in 2022.
Okay. Well, actually, I grew up at Nembure. That is
In
my
Embu County?
in Embu County. That is Embu County, Manyata Sub County, Gaturi South Ward, Eriare Village, commonly known as Nembure. So that is where I grew up. I went to my first school was Nembure Primary School. I later joined Kerori, where I did my up to my class 7 level. Later joined St. Joseph of Taps. Later joined Meru. And, yeah, and later on joined Egerton University, where I pursued a bachelor's degree in economics. Yeah, that is all about my education life. Socially, William is married to one wife and one kid. Yeah, boy child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, which are some of the challenges that William faced during growing up, schooling? What are some of the challenges that you faced, and how are you able to overcome those challenges so that you can be called Mr. William?
So now, my sister, you'll agree with me that first, for me, I'm the remnant of what has been realized from the freedom fighters, the Mau Mau children. That is it. So now, William, having been born in a humble background, my parents are not civil servants, neither are they educated. So one of the challenges was that I grew up in a family whereby education had not been seen as a factor to determine the future.
Wow.
So it was about self-motivation, or what we call intrinsic motivation. You're not motivated by your dad, because your dad is not an engineer, neither is he a teacher or even a police officer. So your dad is just a farmer, and your mom is just a housewife. She has never been to class.
Wow.
So you understand that if you have some assignment or homework, there's no one even to guide you. It's upon you to know the spelling of a cup, the spelling of a goat. You cannot even make reference from your parents, because your parents are not treated. They are not beneficiary of the education, white man's education, that is it. So you find that those were the challenges, attending school, just like any other humble young boy or any other child. So those were the challenges, and being sent for school fees often. Now and then, time and again, I was very much informed even before the head teacher would lead out the names of those that had big fee arrears, not even fee arrears, but huge fee arrears. I would know that the first name to appear on that list would be William. Because again, you understand now, growing up in a homestead whereby the parents are not working, you just rely with the school fees that you get from the farm. And you know, working with the jembe is tiresome, time consuming, and the yield is determined by the weather. So they would get very little to pay for my school fees.
Okay, someone would ask, Willy, they hear about Willy. Many youths out there know hear about Willy. We see Willy on Facebook. Many people don't know who is Willy. So and watu wangetaka kujua huyu Willy anafanya kazi gani? Is it that ameketi tu pale kwa nyumba anangoja 2022 to buy for MCA, ama Willy kuna kazi huko nje anafanya as he waits for 2022? Is Willy still working?
So now my sister, for me, I before I make commitment to people, I normally make commitment to God. I am a Christian, and I know that I take most of my reference from the Bible. If you read the book of Judges, you'll see there was one judge by the name Gideon. At one time, when he was going to fight to face the enemy, he made a commitment to God, that God, if you give me victory over my enemies, I'll offer you a gift of whatever that will meet me when I come back from the battlefield. Whatever that will meet me from my homestead, that is what I will offer to you. And actually you find that it was his beloved daughter that met him while he was coming from the battlefield, and he decided to offer that to God. So for me, before I come to the act of maybe working or even promising anything, I make commitments to God. That when I was young and when I was hustling, when I was about to finish my campus life, I was praying God that, God, if you give me the strength and opportunity, I'll make sure that I open many doors as much as possible. As well, I'll never regret anyone. I'll make sure that I'll lift someone from the low point to some point that he'll feel that there is someone who has steered his life in one way or another. So you find that other than waiting for the 2022 and probably coming out to give people promises of what you'll do, William has started initiatives. One, you find that you would go all over, like in my ward in Gatori South, and before you cover a distance of like 1 kilometer, you'll have learned the name William more than 15 times. That is in terms of the small project that William has started. You hear of people will tell you that we had our patient in hospital whom could not be able to clear the fee, that is the medical bill, and William intervened, and now we have our patient back at home. You hear people tell you that the Juakari industry, they'll tell you that whichever area that you seen us in, could you mention the overalls and whatnot, like in my home area, Kevoe, Karingare, they tell you that even you lead by yourself from the back, you see the name William. Those are my initiatives. My Mama Mboga there at Karingare and Kevo, you'll meet them with very nice basins and very nice knives that they are using in their activity. And those are initiatives of William, in a humble way, trying to support people who have my kind, people who have come from humble backgrounds, but they have big dreams. People whom I believe, if empowered and given the right working tools, these are people who can change the future.
So where do you work?
I work at Embu County Government.
With Embu County Government?
Exactly. End of Inspectorate, Embu County Revenue Authority. So I ensure that compliance in revenue correction, and where there is no compliance, I ensure that enforcement has been applied.
So watu watauliza anatuambia inspectory, hey, hizo vocabulary. Some people may not understand.
Exactly.
So wanashangaa Willy alienda campus. What did he study in campus?
William, that one I'll answer in a more detail. Other than the course that I took in campus, there was this, in every time that I would hear of Kibaki, the former president of the Republic of Kenya, I would hear that Kibaki is an economist. And that is why when he took over the government, within a transformation of 5 years matrix, he was able to change things differently compared to his predecessor who had the government for 24 years. So when I was a young boy, there is that word economics that used to come across. Economics. And I would hear that it related with mathematics. So when I got to high school and when I was taking the course selection options, so I went for economics, and I studied economics at Egerton University, main campus in Njoro. So I purely concentrated with mathematics, and that is what has enabled me to work for Embu County in terms of the revenue department.
So guys, this is a learned man We are not talking to someone tumeokota huko nje tukawaletea tusikie story yake na amesoma, and that is why he's actually aimed to those things, because this guy has the knowledge. Whereas you did not forge anything like to get there. You are just clean.
Exactly. You see, that point it sounds a bit it's a bit hilarious. It's a bit funny because how does someone just rise up and you forge to be a certain profession whereby you are expected to deliver? Now, for sure, you may have a paper reading that you are a graduate, you own these and these qualifications. Now, when the assignment comes, what will you do? So, for me, I believe that the greatest thing that one can do is self-acceptance. That if you have it, you have it. If you do not have it, then if there are chances, work towards realization of it. If there are no chances to realize it at this time, then concentrate on your strength and what you can do best.
Wow.
Yes.
So here we are. You work with the county government.
Yes.
You are aiming towards vying for a seat in 2022.
Exactly.
Hauogopi? You don't fear that Willy anaweza anguka and you've wasted maybe a lot of money investing kwa 2022. Hauogopi unaweza anguka?
So now, one thing, just like I said, I take a lot of reference from God's word because I believe God's word is eternal. When you read the scriptures, for those of us who are Christians, the word of God says that for God is a God of bravery and not God of cowardice. So for me, I will not fear that what if the unexpected happens. That has never been an idea at any given time. For me, I've gone through tough test of time, unlike this of 2022. I've gone through very discouraging moments, which you feel like probably you do not have the strength to continue. But I thank God because of that resilient heart, that whenever I face a difficulty, God gives me the strength to come over even the challenge.
Wow. You are this man who is just bold, who is just ready for anything that's come your way. Unaweza advise aje huyo youth hapo nje? Maybe anafikiria, okay, kesho naweza amuka nikue kitu fulani, naweza enda kitu fulani, but when she wakes up anajiuliza, guy, nitaweza? Ai, wacha tu ikawe si mimi, I can't. But you are this man who is like, let it come, I will face it despite of anything. And another thing I've noticed about you are God-fearing. How would you advise that youth out there? So far, so good.
So now, to my brother or my sister who is out there, who may have seen darkness over the day, I want to tell them that they are not alone. People have gone through such hard times. Personally, I've ever been to such a situation where you see as if you came to this world by chance or by mistake, because there's nothing that seems to be working for you. So one thing that I would like to tell my brother or my sister out there who is working, who is not working, who has a dream that seems to be so far from being actualized, is that the greatest disability that one can ever have is not loss of physical sight, but it is the loss of vision. That is, if you do not have, you have lost the sight of your vision, then that is the biggest disability that you can ever have, living without a vision. Because even God once said that a nation that has a vision or a dream goes far. So what I would like to tell my brother or my sister or whoever that is out there, my parent, my uncle, my auntie, is that they should always endure and persevere. That and they should remain hopeful. That what they are doing today, they are working in small scale. Tomorrow things will be better, and they will work in large scale.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's good. So how has education prepared Willy to whom he is now? Unaweza jisema, because you know education plays a very important role in one's life. So especially for those people who are in politics. Utaona hata akiongea hivi unaona surely this man is talking some sense. Okay, I'm not as in like on like this. Okay, there, you know, just maybe give to a different.
Exactly.
Yes, but kuna how education will play role in one's life. So how has education prepared you to be this man we are seeing? Because even in terms of your dressing, you won't say you are dressed by your wife. It's because you have this knowledge that leo nitavalia hivi and appear to this certain thing like this. So how has education prepared you to be who you are? Unaweza kusema education imeplay a role kwako?
Thank you for that question. What I would like to say is that education, someone said, education is power. And it is the only weapon that does not get out of date. That you can never outdate education. Today, you'll develop a pistol which is of a certain power in terms of attack and rage, in terms of shooting. And tomorrow, someone else will rise up with more technology, and they will have to do what you were able to do at your present day. But education is the weapon that you cannot outdo. So, one, education has been power and light to me in a big way. Because for me, to get where I am today, I'm not related to any powerful person in Kenya, is the element of education. Education is a common denominator. That the son of a king can dine with a pauper's son, just because the pauper's son is educated. It will give you power that is not seen, but power that will make you go far, and a key that will open many doors and many opportunities.
Wow. So do you think that education will be one of your agendas come?
Yes, my sister. That one is a point that can never be disputed. That I advocate that for the peasant son to dine with the king's son, he must be educated. He must be educated. He must be empowered. That is the only inheritance that parents can give to their children.
Wow.
The big tracts of land are over now. You go to the shelter, you never fight the livestock. The cows are gone. Goats are not more in the shed. But education will give you child the power to get in those big offices. And when he opens the door, no one will have to ask them, who are you? But they will say, welcome, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people may ask, what motivates William?
Motivation, one.
What is that thing that makes you, nikiamuka hivi, I must go for this thing just because of this? What motivates? What is the motivating factor? One,
my motivating factor, one is that because I know there is the element of change which comes from God. That is a God of seasons.
Wow.
That the God who appointed Saul is the same God that appointed David. He felt that now the season of Saul was over, and now it was for David to take over. So every day, what gives me the motivation is that I know that there is a God in heaven, and I know that the God in heaven is a God of seasons. And if there has been a certain regime, I know that God would want another regime to come over, probably with new ideas that will steer change to the young people, that will steer change to the elderly, that will bring transformation and big prosperity to the people. And I also want to believe that William is not the final. As well, the change that I'm talking about, time after, you find someone else rising more stronger than William, with bigger ideas than William.
Wow.
So my biggest motivation is that season and time that have to change. So I have to match those seasons for the good realization of the day.
What are you passionate about?
Passionate about? William is passionate about one, the leadership that we have been talking about. Two, I'm passionate about seeing progress. And three, I'm a sportsman. This field is that what I like most is physical training. I do not participate in a specific game, but I do a lot of physical exercise.
Okay.
I even can give some demo if you wish.
Okay. What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? For every man, kila mtu anapandia kile mzito na ile anakuanga hata ukimweka hapo haitaweza. So which are your greatest strengths and weaknesses?
Let me start by weakness. One, my biggest weakness is that the act of communication. Communication is power in one way or another. But you find that at times I do so many things without communicating to relevant personnel or authority. So you may find that I'm expected to communicate, but at the end of the day, I may end up doing so much without even updating where I am supposed to update, which is a weakness that I'm really working on it.
Okay.
And make sure that every day I am updating. If they are my people at Nemure, my Gaturi people, I ensure that Gaturi South is updated. That Mheshimiwa has done this, has done the other, and is doing so and so, and is about to do this other thing.
The strength.
For my strength is that God gave me a very big heart,
Wow.
which does not give up. You may knock me down 100 times without seeing me giving up.
Wow.
Because I believe that however much you are knocking me down, you are as well getting weary. So it will come a time that I will also stand and give you a good one. That is a good knockout. So I have a big heart of resilience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So many people out there are asking, really, at the end of the day, I see you must go to Gaturi. At the end of the day, you must go to the office. At the end of the day, Willie must commit himself to the family. You have projects back at home, rearing the cattle, the dogs, the everything. And you also have to get out to your friends. You have to go to the gym. How are you able to balance all this? How are you able really fit kwa zote within the 24 hours ukiondoa za kulala?
Exactly. So now, one, truth be said, I'm not a perfectionist. At times you'll find that event getting over my schedule, but I try as much as possible to actualize not less than 95% of my daily activities. So one, I have to respect my employer. I know that it is what is now giving me my daily blend, feeding my table, and as well feeding the needy. I make it that a priority to share the little that I have. So one is that I respect my boss, and the best way of respecting your boss is by delivering, being on time, and working towards the realization of the organizational goals. So for the family, again, that one has been a responsibility to me. But for you to realize your tight schedule, one, you must be time conscious. You cannot work the high time and expect to actualize
What you have on the table.
Exactly. So I make sure that one, waking up early, that one is not an option. I was taught by my former boss, it's called Farason Mureithi. He would call me at 4 a.m. every day and confirm whether I have woken up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it would make it a routine. By 5 a.m. we would be in the office. Yeah. So waking up and sleeping late, that one, you do it, and your tight schedule, you just fit it along the time frame that you have.
So with all this, unakuanga na stress, ndio?
Oh, sure.
Yes, like now you have stress, I can tell.
Why?
You seem to be in pressure. So how do you handle stress?
Stress management. One, the greatest weapon to handle stress is prayer. One, you have to pray. You pray over what is stressing you. You pray about it, tell God about it. The scripture says that do not be troubled by anything, but in prayers, but in everything you do, exactly, and in prayers and persistence, make all your requests be known to God. So first I pray. Secondly, I take action. That I'll not be stressed because of a broken, maybe maybe I can pick any example. That I'll not be stressed because of all a torn coat. I'll take action. You have to take it to the tailor for the tailor to fix it. So now, for me, I take action. Because actually, just like I said, from the biblical. Faith, sure, you have prayed, but faith without action is dead.
It's dead.
So you have to take action.
So really, through all that process, you've ever come about a difficult situation in life. Sindio?
Sure.
Do you recall that difficult situation?
Yeah.
And how did, so tell us about that difficult situation and how did you overcome the situation? Because out youths huko nje wanapitia mambo mazito, but to come out from that difficult situation is the problem. So you, which situation was it and how did you overcome the situation?
I'm young, but I'm a parent. The worst of all, had the situation that I've ever gone through was at Nairobi, St. Mary's Hospital. When loss of life happened. Yeah. So it was actually God had blessed me with a child, a baby girl, and out of the complications, yeah, she lost life.
She lost life.
Yeah, that was the lowest moment of life that I've ever gone through.
How are you able to come out of that situation?
It was traumatizing. Actually, it was very traumatizing with a lot of stigma. But again, when you fight leverage in God's word, God gives you the boldness. Yeah, and and of course, through some few people would give you words of encouragement. Get out there.
Wow. Away from that now, which is the greatest accomplishment in life?
One greatest accomplishment that I've ever actualized. That is a bit tricky because I feel there's nothing greater that I've been able to achieve.
What? You've not yet achieved?
I have not yet achieved the greatest thing that I've
So you still dream?
I'm still dreaming.
And you'll keep on dreaming, or will you at one point quit dreaming?
I'll keep dreaming. I'll never stop dreaming. So for now, I'll just call this one the preliminaries. These are just small things that have come along.
Wow.
So there's nothing big about it. But I feel that big things are on the way coming.
Okay. You work under pressure? Do you work under pressure?
Sure.
How do you work under pressure? As for me, when I'm under pressure, sure, you find that at times I may be given a lot of assignment. I have personal assignments, I have employer's assignment, I have a private assignment. When I mean private assignment, is whereby I have committed myself to some entity or to some other corporate companies that we work together. So you find that I have a personal, private, that is in terms of corporate, and employer, that is the county government. So you may find that I have a lot of undone assignments. And then once they pile up, there will be pressure. So when you are in pressure, you just need to relax first and then start handling one by one. One by one. Yeah, you cannot do all things at a go. I may define you as a successful man. Am I wrong?
According to, okay, let me accept what you've said because you view it from your perception.
But do you believe you are a successful man?
Successful, on the way to success, not successful.
How do you define that success now?
Success. Success is, I believe, success is when one has actualized or has realized all his dreams and ambitions. But now for someone like William who is still working on his ambition, he may not be termed to be successful per se, but someone who is on the land way to success.
You are a manager of your own life, true?
Sure.
Sure?
Sure.
You are a manager, you are the boss of your own life.
Exactly.
And you are a successful manager of your own life. What are some of the qualities that a successful manager should have to be where you are?
One is the aspect of never giving up.
Wow.
You should never give up, no matter how hard the situation may be. Keep moving. Number two, for one to be a successful manager, you must concentrate on the weakness. That you perfect on your weaknesses, and as well capitalize on your strength. And finally, to be a successful manager, whether Christian or Muslim, there must be the element of God. That even the small things that you want to achieve, incorporate God in them. And
here I'm talking with a youth. He is a teen. That's why we are having the teen talk show, and we have this youth here. This youth is actually the very, very bold person, and I have this question for this young man. If you are given a chance to live your life all over again, what would you change?
if I was given a chance to live or to change, to start everything.
Or to go back to the 20.
To the 20.
I'm sure you will not beyond 20.
Yeah,
but
sure.
To go there, unaona kurudi hapo kwa 18, 20, ile time uko na ile time, yani unaona ile time ulikuanga shule, unaona aki leo sasa nitafanya nini, wacha niende nikazurure, nirudi kwa nyumba. If you are to go back to that time, what would you change and what would you do with your life?
Given a chance to get back to the starting point, one, I would be more serious with life. Because some of the things that I did not do, which seemed to be norm, I've come to realize that they were very important at the beginning. So, given an opportunity, one, I would give my all to every session of life. If it is primary school, I would give my all. If it is to high school, I would give my all. If it is to campus life, I would give my all in terms of productivity. So I normally feel other times that there are areas that have not fully exploited.
And you'd go back to those?
Yes, I would go back to those areas and do better. Probably, if I did better, yes, exactly. I would probably be far and where I am.
You know, this man, I can't stop interviewing you. I just think we should have more and more and more time.
Thank you.
Because the way people are thinking about you out there, I think it's not the way you are. You are this man who is really, really focused. Really focused. And after every show, my show, I usually have some questions. Though time is not allowing us to move on. But I have some questions for you, Mr. William.
Sure.
I expect you to answer them very, very well. These are just 3 questions away from the interview now. Na nataka unijibu zenyewe vizuri. Penye utaelewa, tell me where.
Okay.
Kurudia. There are 5 questions for you, and maybe plus 2 which I may ask maybe for the youth to understand out there. Why? My first question is, why are manholes around us? Where are there manholes?
Manholes.
I think you understand by the word manholes.
Yes. Yes, I understand. You're talking about, I'm into construction industry, and we normally do manholes. I want to believe those are the manholes you're talking about.
Mbona kuna manholes? Hii ni ile njia panya route maneno ndio ufike kwenye mtu anataka. Nikitaka kazi, nikitaka kuwa secretary wa Willy, nitaambia mama tuuze ng'ombe tuchote Willy. Mimi huyu hapo nimekuwa secretary. Why?
Oh, that's what you meant.
Where are there manholes? Kuna kutumia shortcut sana. Mbona kuna kutumia shortcut? Mbona kuna hizo shortcuts?
The problem that we have, the problem that we have with whatever hidden language that you've used, is that one, due to scarcity, you find that there is an opportunity, and the applicant for the opportunity are more than you'd even imagine. So, what happens? You find the systems have to be compromised. Because, one, these people who have applied for this opportunity or who can fit to work in this opportunity are even more than the opportunity themselves. So what do? So someone else, other than the papers that you have, you say that I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's, and I also have a supplement of 100,000
yes,
to add more weight to my papers. So you find that these are things that have been there since time memorial, but these are things that should be condemned with the strongest terms possible.
So they are not necessary. My next question was, are they necessary?
These ones are not necessary.
Have you undergone ushaipitia manhole moja wewe?
For me, I've never.
Mama wewe ni kungangana.
Mimi yangu ni kungangana. Sijawahi pitia, but I know people do.
People do.
Yeah. But for me,
do they go far?
Okay. What is there now? You see, these are things that are ruining our morals, and the society is inculcated in negativity. So, for me, I want to believe that these are not the ways that should be observed in the society. In fact, people should be ranked and should be given opportunities based on their competence. Just like we have Martin Luther Jr. King saying that it shall come a time when one will not have to be judged by their social background, by the color of the skin, or even religion affiliation. Rather, they'll be judged by the content of their brain.
Wow.
So I believe that people should be given opportunity based on their competence and ability to deliver.
Wow.
Yes.
If you are a tree, you know, wewe umetoka huko mashinani kwa hivyo unajua hii maneno ya miti. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And why would you be the tree?
One, I would be a tree that bears fruit. Because like a mango tree.
You know, there are these fruits that bear fruits once in a year, others twice in a year, others never bear fruits at all. What kind of a tree would you like to be?
For me, I would like to be just picking a tree that is common, mango tree. Yeah.
And why? Why would you be a mango tree?
A mango tree is a very generous tree that does not get weary of being good. A young boy will come with a stone, throw the stone to hit some mango. The stone at times will even miss the mango and eat the leaves or even the stem of the tree. You'll see the tree will get even injured, but eventually the mango tree will drop over the mango. So it does not take vigilance, very calm, and every other time when time is due, it will reward the people. Thank you so much.
Hi! What food have you never eaten and but would really like to try the food?
I've never eaten a crocodile and I would like to try it.
Why would you like to try the crocodile?
Just feel the taste.
Hivyo tu?
Yeah.
Na kama iko poisonous, ukikula alafu usikie itakuwa.
There are people who eat but I still hear that they exist. They never die.
So you'd like to try and error?
Ningetaka kujaribu.
Na ukiondoka utoache?
Asiwezi.
Where do you get your news?
My news. News one, I normally, as I told you, I normally wake up very early. I have to get both the national news, that is local news, and the international news from the television at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I'll tune in to BBI so that I can get the international news.
The BBC.
BBC exactly. So then I'll get to local channels. Afterwards, I get to the office and peruse the newspaper very fast. Yes.
So where you source your news is the television and the newspapers.
Yeah.
The social media.
And the social media as well. And the social media plays a key role. Even the social media actually is a key source of information.
Okay. What social stigma does society need to get over?
Social stigma. The social stigma that society needs to get out of is that one, the aspect of when one makes it in life that there must be a third eye in it. What I mean a third eye, I mean there must be impurity, maybe some rituals and whatnot. For me, the strongest message that I have to my people is that let us work strongly, let us work with a lot of vigor, let us work with the insight that things will be better, and let us not stick to these outdated rumors and informations of this one. We understand he has been working in a certain area. Whatever he has is not green. He was awarded by the devil, and such kind of things. People should be related, and should have an open mind that hard work pays.
Hard work pays. Yeah. So you are this man. Willie amesoma. Willie is working with the county government. Willie is eyeing for the 2022 elections, actually, if they don't know. And you're not giving up. Umesoma na shida zote, and this man you're not giving up. You have a family and you don't give up. You've gone through, actually kwa social media kuna rumors mingi, and hazikutishi. I'm seeing you still pushing on.
Exactly.
What would you advise that there that ako shule, ana pursue certificate, ana pursue diploma, ana pursue degree, and anajua nikimaliza narudi tu pale nyumbani jisina kwa kuenda. Okay, kuna huyu mwingine mwenye amesimama leo akiwa chairman wa kanisa, kuna yeye amesimama akiwa sijui nini, na ana dream tu hapo. How would you advise that those people and those who are faint hearted? Yes, your advice to the youths out there.
This is my word to my brothers and sisters out there, that giving up should never be an option. That is the last word that should never come out of your mouth, or even that you should never conceive in your heart. Because one, today it is William who has fought from all difficulties that any other person would think that it is not possible for one to come from such quarters and make it. So I want to believe that my story will sound as a point of encouragement to someone else out there. Could you be pursuing a certificate, diploma, degree, master's degree, PhD, or whichever, that you should remain focused, that you should have faith that the certificate you are pursuing in catering one day will turn out to be very resourceful in your life. You should never give up, and in the midst of difficulties and impossibility, there is always a very hidden path that if you remain resilient, you will go through.
Okay, wacha nikupatie dakika moja. You tell these people, the youth, what they should expect from you between this time of 2020, between this time and 2022, and if you are given a chance, utafanyia nini Kenya watu bado hawajapata? 1 minute only.
Thank you. Long are the days when we used to say that once you give me the opportunity, I will do this and that. Today, we are talking of being judged by what you have been able to do, even before we consider you for that big aspiration that we have, or that you have as an individual. Now, between today and 2022, I want to empower as many young people as possible. And when I mean empowering, I mean creating opportunities. I have been doing that in the past, and I continue doing it. Could it be even in the private sector, where I have a cross link? My brother, my sister, if we happen to meet, or even if you happen to establish communication, I will link you up there, where there is an opportunity. Go work very hard for you to realize what you want to achieve in life. And even before we get to 2022, my doings and my actions will give the insight of whether I can know the people or not.
Or not.
Thank
you very much. Watu wanaweza kupata wapi?
Watu wakitaka kunipata,
ama wakitaka kujua Willy what next, kesho anamkia nini, ama kuna plan gani for the youth. Watu wakitaka kupata hiyo information yote ya Willy wanaweza kupata wapi?
Okay.
Ipata wapi? Wacha niseme wanaweza kupata wapi, wacha tuseme wanaweza ipata wapi.
Okay. One, you can either meet me as an individual. That is right from home, Nembure, Eriare. You cannot meet me at my private quarter at Gakogore. You can also meet me at my office, house number 17, that is the Embu County Revenue Authority. You can as well meet me in the social platforms, that is on WhatsApp and Facebook, Karaoke William. Yeah, and you get all the update.
Na wasilete maneno mingi. Willy is a married man, is a family man and very focused. So hiyo maneno ingine yote waeke kando.
That is it.
Ndio hiyo.
That is it.
So you have come to the end of the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Nashukuru sana. Thank you.
So guys, we've come to the end of the Teen Talk show. We had our guest here who is Mr. William, who is looking forward to the 2022 politics. Looking out for a seat in Gaturi South. So guys, it was such an awesome show. Kindly guys continue staying tuned to the Teen Talk show. Subscribe if you've not subscribed to the show, so that hata utajua nani next mwenye tutaleta. And if you have any request chenye mnataka kujua kuhusu this man, you can always talk to us on the Teen Talk show on Facebook, or reach us through the number which will be given there. Mtatuambia na tutawajulisha, tutamleta tena. So guys, we thank you very much. Continue being blessed. Continue subscribing, liking, sharing. Also share the information ifikie watu wenye wana doubt, watajua kweli he is a focused man, na mcomment. We love you very, very much.